took the greatest photo I'm ever gonna take. I have officially peaked, chat. I can throw all my camera, I'm not gonna throw it all away, but I could put the camera down for good. I could retire happily. But before we talk about that photo, we need to talk about Formula One Grand Prix. This has been my 3rd year shooting Formula One for LBCVA. It's visitvegas.com. It's the tourism board for all of the city of Las Vegas. This year for me, however, was way different. In the best way. In previous years, I feel like I struggled to understand what the client had in mind or even deliver what the client had in mind. For example, we couldn't show isolated cars on the track. We could show the atmosphere, packed grandstands, and then, you know, panning through. If there's cars on the track, that's okay, but we couldn't shoot the race itself. We couldn't ISO in on a car. There's only so many shots. There's only so many of those. And I feel like that's where I really struggled in previous years. Trying to do video of just short, like social clips with not a ton of either context behind them or the output in which I was shooting those clips for. But this year, way different for a number of reasons. Number one, I was strictly on photo. If there was a moment that there wasn't a videographer around, I was told, you know, grab it. But my main thing was photo. We had a lot more access this year. That was huge. And I didn't have the same restrictions as I had previous years. They had a team, they had a game plan, and people in the right place for their strengths. The people on the social team, Owen, Raina, Gemma, they crush it. They do it daily, multiple times a day. Here's the best places to eat around the paddock. Or do you know about these blank things to do around Formula One footprint? They have that style of content down. My strength is photography and videography. High quality photo, high quality video, and delivering it in real time. Like this one. Sorry, that's not it. I shouldn't do that to you. Let me fix that. Another aspect of my deliverables was the client wanted me to do a video. You're a Formula One photographer from my POV and the style of content that I've been doing lately. So that was really satisfying for a client to kind of see the additional layers of content that I've been putting out and be like, hey, we really want you to do a 9x16 from your POV and what you're capturing. Day one, Thursday, driver arrivals. It's the first time that everyone, media or anyone in the paddock is seeing the drivers. We will see them all 3 days enter the paddock, but this one being kickoff kind of day. My client, Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority. God, I mess that up every time I have to read it. LBCVA was presenting drivers with personalized poker chips. They were freaking huge. They were like life size. They were personalized to each driver. Some of the things like drivers' pets, and I thought that was pretty cool. Some of the drivers, however, wanted no part of it. There were showgirls, multiple Elvises, a media frenzy. On one hand, these drivers are locking in for practice, qualifying, and then race days. I totally get some of them just wanted to skip the chaos and not stop for anything, because once they stop, they get bombarded and swarmed. Pretty understandable that a few of them just went straight beeline to their sponsor or their team suite. After driver arrivals were captured and uploaded, myself, Fritz, who was doing video, Bryce and Owen from LBCVA, all 4 of us wandered around different areas of the paddock to get familiar with it, see what's going on before practice started. For this, my focus was not the track itself or eventually the race itself. It was more atmosphere, activations, and just vibe and footprint. In this case, the paddock, I was bouncing around numerous points of the paddock. I wanted to capture different activations they had, different things to do from like a fan's perspective or a sponsor's perspective. Of course, I shot some photo and video of activities on the track, practice, qualifying, and race day, but seeing as how my client is the city of Las Vegas and the tourism board, that wasn't my main focus. So I never really spent too much time shooting cars. Obviously shot a few laps, tried a few different angles and different things, and then moved on. From my point of view, there was a ton of things going on. Shoey drops around various parts of the strip, car simulators, pit lane garage, food, ice sculptures, paddock suites, dance floors, photo ops, various parts to see the track and the city skyline. And if you're lucky, drivers walking through the paddock. Day 2, Friday, driver arrivals again, this time with a little bit less focus on them. Today, my focus was more heavy on atmosphere and activations. I had a few hours to kill before qualifying. Wandered around the paddock, made my way to the Formula One Academy, ran into Blue Man Group and Hello Kitty, ate way too much In-N-Out. It was free if you had a either staff badge or I think like a VIP badge. Staff catering being a crazy journey to walk to, and selected times of breakfast or lunch. It didn't ever work out. It was never feasible for me. So free In-N-Out right outside the paddock turnstiles. I'll take what I can get. On these long days where you're on your feet, you're carrying all your equipment in a backpack because you don't have a place to set up, you take all the little wins you can get. Now let's get into the greatest photo I've ever taken. Lewis Hamilton walking from the garage with his helmet on. Right place, right time. So I had shot him entering the garage previously, the night before. And I saw a video online of him walking out with the helmet. And I was like, when the fuck was he in a helmet? How do I get that shot? So a little birdie told me he may walk out from the garage back to the sponsor suites or whatever those are called. And sure enough, I waited. If he's wearing the helmet and he walks out from the garages, I'm gonna be there and get this shot. There's a ton of media, but I just dead center, tunnel. I was fucking beyond jazzed that I got that helmet shot. That's it, I peaked.
My home base here in the room, and just I didn't pack any clothes. I just packed underwear and a toothbrush. I didn't plan on staying last night, Thursday night. I was going to go home. That didn't work out. Just a quick shower and brushing your teeth, and it'll do you wonders. But anyway, camera gear. Temba bag gets pretty heavy. I got 7,200, 15 to 35, 20 to 70 just in the bag for now, because then that way when I go through security and make my way to the track, the two bodies I'm just going to have harnessed on me. It's a lot easier just to worry about the bodies than also with the lenses. Also have the GoPro behind the scenes and POV. You know how I like to do it. Extra batteries for the R5, and then some extra memory cards and filters in here. Brought the Contax T2 in there. Camera harness, Pelicans here, just stuff thrown everywhere. More film cameras. Actually, I might do the backpack today, actually, because I'm going to bring my laptop in case I need a live drop. It might be easier to have my laptop with me. But here's a quick room tour. 2 beds, couch, coffee table, love seat, and more chairs. Whoa. The tub last night, I took a nice little soak while uploading some photos. Very long day, a lot of walking, a lot of on my feet for 12 plus hours.
Day 3, Saturday, race day. Got to sleep in a little bit. Our team meeting wasn't until later in the day to kind of start off a little slower, which was nice. Charge up everything, get everything dialed in. That way I was ready for a very long day ahead. In my schedule, I need to be in a certain position for the fireworks after the race. So I want to get to this particular point from the other side of the paddock, the other side of the grandstands, and just make sure I know where I need to be for that later point in the night, roughly gauge how far it's going to take me to get from the paddock and where driver arrivals and red carpet will be to this area. So obviously you have to factor in there's going to be a shit ton of people there at a later point, but at least I know distance and where it is in case there's security or certain entrances. So went to that spot around 3 p.m. in the day, head back to the paddock for red carpet. I was pumped to shoot red carpet. Everyone coming through, I was front row. First on the carpet, Magic Johnson, couple photos, boom, on to the next one. Asia Wilson from the Las Vegas Aces, Shaggy, Piff the Magic Dragon, and Hello Kitty. And then I get told we only have one spot for LBCVA on the red carpet. And that one spot was for Haley Bailey because she was going to be showing up to do interviews with people on the red carpet. So I was gutted. I get the boot. We tried everything. The red carpet people, they were not budging. They were like, you guys have one spot and it is what it is. It's out of your control. You can try your hardest. You can be with the client, but at the end of the day, you don't want to overstep your bounds and you don't want to ruffle any feathers that don't need to be ruffled. Some of the celebrities ditch the red carpet completely, like Travis Scott, Beyonce, and Jay-Z. Knowing that some of the celebrities may sidestep the red carpet, I wanted to be in a position where I could see them coming and then also give myself a better opportunity to photograph them, because where the turnstile on the red carpet was, they bypassed it. There wasn't a ton of room to get a good photo. Being flexible and nimble in this industry is crucial. You try your best, but at the end of the day, you just got to get over it, find out what's the next best available option for you. Red carpet's off limits to me. All right, where else could I be? I want to go on the other side of the turnstile, since I know that there is such a very short window from when they come through the turnstiles to wherever they dart to. If they go to red carpet or if they don't. I don't know the question of that answer. Potentially see them coming for longer distance. This is where experience and always being ready come in handy. The Jay-Z and Beyonce photo. I got this after they came back out of the paddock. I was standing outside of those turnstiles and over my shoulder, I see this movement, frenzy, boom. My senses are on. Anytime you're in these environments and you don't know what celebrities are coming or where they're coming from or who they are, see a little crowd or a horde, it's something, always be ready, because that stuff is gonna move fast. There's gonna be people swarming them. And in this case, it's Jay-Z and Beyonce. It was just right place, right time, boom, big crowd, what's this? Cameras up, and then also realizing where I was and trying to move with the crowd, move with their security, both looking straight, and really all I needed was one shot. Another thing that comes down to trusting your gut, being aware and experience. Obviously, not everyone is a Jay-Z or a Lewis Hamilton that's gonna have a big crowd of people and big media following them. Other people are reality TV stars or influencers or models, so there's not really gonna be any sort of movement with them, but I'm trying to capture everyone that comes down my way. I'm also out in like no man's zone. If I was on the red carpet, obviously that's very easy. Celebrities or whoever's invited is gonna walk up, they're gonna write their name on the board, the handler is gonna escort them down the red carpet. It's very easy. You're in the right place to photograph whoever is in front of you. Out there in no man's zone, it's a free-for-all. I don't know who's coming. I don't know when they're coming. I don't know what's going on. So I gotta be ready. I started to notice a few of the handlers would grab whoever they were from their Uber and then walk them straight to the turnstile. So I started to pick up on a couple of those familiar faces of the people handling. Every time I saw the handler with somebody, I snapped their photo. Even then, if there's a group of 3-4 people, try to get them all if I could, because again, I don't know who may be the celebrity or the important person in that group. Relying on my experience and being ready, shoot first and then figure it out later, or shoot first, send it to client and they could figure it out. Once upload was done, jammed over to get in position for start of the race, cars on track, celebrities on the grid, and some music performances. Knowing I am going to be in one position for the duration of the race, to be in a good spot for fireworks at the end of the race, I'm not spending too much time on cars on the track. Once I got a few laps, I was good in that department, trying to show off full grandstands and also some internal deliverables, so some food and beverage type stuff, and then just comb the crowd and get fan shots, anyone overly excited or yelling or maybe even decked out. So race is done, 50 laps go by pretty fast in my opinion, but I am in position, grab the fireworks shot. Okay, so fireworks are done. Now I need to make my way back over to paddock so I can try to get something of podium. So I make it over in time to get champagne showers from above. I think it's a different perspective because everyone else was below, right in front. shooting upward at podium, and I feel like my perspective was different. So now crowd is pretty much starting to thin out. I need to make my way down from the 3rd floor to driver interviews. It's really like the last shot of the night for me is a close-up of Max, who had just won. Make it there just in time, do our final uploads, and make our way back to the hotel. A little bit of extra info to wrap things up. Client and social team's home base was in the Tuscany, which was inside the footprint of Formula One. Everyone stayed there for the week, whatnot, 3 days. It ended up making my life way easier to just stay there at the hotel that was in the footprint and not have to deal with traffic, road closures, shuttles, because that shit was a madness. So it worked out, made my life easier, and also just made workflow easier. I posted a story on my Instagram. I proposed if anyone had any questions about Formula One or my experience. There was only 3 questions, all good. First question, how to get into the space. Now, I'm assuming this question is how did I get point of shooting Formula One? As I mentioned, my client is the city of Las Vegas, the tourism board, LVCVA. I've done various projects over the last 4 to 5 years, so I am very fortunate that I am still in their vendor repertoire. Camera settings for shooting such a fast-moving subject. Shutter speed, I don't have the numbers on me right now, but if I had to guess, I'm around the 4,000 of a shutter. Electronic shutter, continuous shooting mode, high speed plus. I will toss up some of those images. Those cars are going 200 plus miles an hour and you see them for a blip. So to try to get freeze that action, it takes a very modern camera. Third question, do you have access anywhere you want to go? My access allowed me anywhere in the paddock. I can move around various parts of the grandstands, and most of the suites, Bellagio or Red Bull, whoever, have their own suites. Obviously, I don't have access to that. Those are their own internal suites, and I could go to different zones. Like I think there was Harmon Zone, Koval Zone. I could go pit lane. I could walk the garages. I did that 2 different times. So basically, I could go anywhere except for on track. The only people that have access to shoot the track would be Getty or in-house Formula One, and you need those credentials. I noticed everyone that had track access was wearing a media track type of vest. I'm assuming they are familiar with the dangers of being that close to the track, documenting it, and so they're probably briefed and all that on what to look out for, what to be aware of. I think that answers it. I had pretty much had access anywhere I wanted to go. My battery's about to die. I've been talking for way too long. I have to edit all this. Thank you guys for watching. If you do have any additional questions, let me know in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you guys. Cheers.